Good evening, and welcome to the 2020 Detroit Athletic Club Foundation's Michigan High School Athlete of the Year program. I'm the host and executive producer of State Champ Sports Network and Yellow Flag Productions, Lauren Plant. It really is my honor to be hosting this ceremony for the fourth consecutive year. For the first time in the show's nearly quarter of a century history, and due to the continuing COVID-19 pandemic, we will not be naming individual winners of the Athletes of the Year. This decision did not come easily. Every year, our finalists represent the absolute best in athletics, academics, and citizenship. So it only felt fitting to theme this evening as an overall celebration of 12 amazing student athletes who exemplify the spirit of the class of 2020, each finalist with their own moment in the sun. You know, the selection committee poured over a record 112 nominations, every candidate receiving at least one letter of recommendation from school officials, coaches, and teachers. And every letter spent a great deal of time detailing each athlete's character, humility, and leadership. We have assembled a dozen features telling each one of their compelling stories, including sound bites from interviews conducted remotely last month. We will also briefly catch up remotely with each one of them one last time before they take the next step of what are sure to be remarkable futures. Each finalist will receive a $1,000 college scholarship, a framed certificate of recognition, along with a banner that will be hung at each finalist's high school in honor of their achievement. We've got a great evening ahead, but first, this event would not be possible without the support of our sponsors, who are committed to recognizing the achievements of these scholar athletes. I would like to thank our sponsors of tonight's event. First, our platinum sponsors, Morgan Stanley, WC Decombe Incorporated, James Group International, and the Detroit Athletic Club's 3Bs. And our gold sponsors, Meyer, Van Conway and Partners, and Suite 618. And finally, our student sponsor, William McCoy. At this time, it is my pleasure to introduce the president of the #1 athletic club in the country, the Detroit Athletic Club, Kristen Ritter.
It's my pleasure to welcome you to the 2020 Michigan High School Athlete of the Year. Most importantly, congratulations to these outstanding young women and men here today. Your athletic, academic, and community accomplishments stand out among your peers. Although a number of you had your season cut short due to the COVID-19 executive orders, the DAC Foundation and the Michigan High School Athlete of the Year Committee definitely want to celebrate your successes. Bravo. A few years ago, the DAC started the Signature Athletic Program Committee to celebrate the spirit of athletics and engage with the community, which is a fundamental part of the DAC athletic heritage. A few programs that we've supported besides the Michigan High School Athlete of the Year are the Detroit Cycling Championship. We've hosted hundreds of pro and amateur cyclists from across the country and around the world to compete in races. We also organized festivals of activities for residents in the city of Detroit, and we gave away more than 400 bikes to children and families in need in the Detroit area through Detroit PAL as well as Fit Kids 360. Also, on the 7th floor, we have a number of Michigan Sports Hall of Fame plaques on display that feature legendary athletes, coaches, and contributors to sports, all with connections to the DAC. And new this year, we are hosting the Amateur Athletic Union Gussie Crawford Lifetime Achievement Award, presented by Meyer, which will be rescheduled later this year. For those of you who are not aware, the Detroit Athletic Club hosted the very first national track and field competition in 1888. And we are thrilled to partner with AAU again to host the Gussie Crawford Lifetime Achievement Award. Time will tell, maybe you will be honored to receive the distinguished Michigan Sports Hall of Fame or prominent AAU Gussie Crawford Lifetime Achievement Award. We are able to host programs like the Michigan High School Athlete of the Year because of the support of our sponsors. Thank you to the DAC Deltas, the DAC 3Bs, Meyer, Morgan Stanley, WC Decombe, James Group International, and many more. You've helped us make this program a reality. On behalf of the DAC members and the DAC Foundation, I want to give a special thank you to Lauren James, Sean Moran, Shannon Murray, Rob Barr, and the Michigan High School Athlete of the Year Committee. This has been a challenging year, and you've been able to reinvent this program and allow us to honor these exceptional student athletes. Thank you. Without further ado, good luck with your next chapter as you advance your athletic talent and your academic achievements. I hope to host you at the DAC in person when this time is past. Once again, congratulations.
Thank you very much, President Ritter. Let's get on with the show. Let's meet the finalists for High School Female Athlete of the Year. From Escanaba High School, Gabriela Salo. Desire. We all have it, but there are a special few whose intentions are always in the right place. Escanaba's Gabriela Salo's desire is tenacious. Heading into her high school career, her 16 and under club had just won a national title. And then in 2018, Okemos softball landed on the map when a young sophomore took the mound and never let up. 13 strikeouts in the championship game that gave Escanaba their first state title. Salo finished runner-up as the coveted Total Softball Player of the Year. Her desire led to a junior campaign that left no doubt who was the Player of the Year, 351 strikeouts on the season and a microscopic .26 ERA and a second state championship. The community backing the team's every move.
Escanaba has one of the best fan bases out there. You look in the stands and it's a 6-hour drive to Sequia Stadium, but we filled the stands with people across the bridge. We had a police escort from Manistee, which is about an hour away from us, all the way home, and then it was kind of just like a parade when we came into town.
Had this season not been erased, the Okemos were favored to be the first team to three-peat in Division II in 40 years. Gabi would have been a 4-time first-team All-Stater. Last year, she was named All-American by both Max Preps and Extra Innings. She was also a member of the bowling team the last 3 years. She'd never bowled in her life before high school, and she bowled a .234 in November's state tournament. Outside of sports, for the last 2 years, she's worked at a nursing home. Think COVID-19 keeps her away? Think again.
I'm an enrichment aide, so what I do is activities with them, anything to help enrich their daily lives. I really enjoy working there. The elderly have so much to offer. You can learn so much from them, and my residents kind of just have become family to me. I love them, and I love working there.
Her desire to enrich lives doesn't stop there. She's worked as a mentor in the Mo Buddy Peer Program.
I mentor some kids in different grades that have learning disabilities, or maybe they just need someone to talk to sometimes, and I love that. My Mo Buddies really have become my best friends. We tutor them, help them with their homework if they need it. Our school this year actually started a unified basketball team, and so that was really exciting to get going, and they've really enjoyed that. Play board games with them. Anything they really want to do is what we do.
Her desire for those in need include packing backpacks for low-income families, and she's provided pitching lessons to kids to learn the great game of softball. Multiple AP courses. Gabi has achieved a 3.99 GPA and National Honor Society the last 2 years. She will take her talents to the University of Wisconsin, where she will also study nursing naturally.
They had amazing academics. They have amazing facilities. They offer a world-class education. And it had everything I want. When I walked onto campus, I just felt like I was at home. And the coaches, everyone was so inviting, and I just really loved it there.
Desire. Gabriela Salo, Escanaba High School. All right, so we get an opportunity now to speak with Gabriela Salo one last time as she just watched her video. Probably a lot of memories flood back when you get a chance to see a retrospective like that.
Yeah, definitely. To look back on our 2 state titles like that, especially when we didn't have a season this year, it was really something special.
Absolutely. And again, one of the things that really just impresses me is your bowling score. The fact that you did so well. That is very, very good. I understand that because COVID-19 has affected different areas of the country differently, you've had an opportunity to get out and play. Talk about it.
Yeah, this past weekend, some restrictions were lifted in different states, and we were able to go to Kentucky and play some games there. So that was really exciting. And this weekend, I'm off to Tennessee.
So what did it feel like to just step back onto the dirt again?
It felt so good. It kind of felt like I picked up where I left off. It didn't feel like a big break. I've been practicing a lot, working out, doing a lot of things in softball. So it didn't feel like it's been a while, but it felt really good to finally play again.
Another thing I'm curious about, are you still getting an opportunity to help the elderly and do that kind of work?
Yeah, so I've still been working a lot lately, especially our residents haven't seen their families since about March 14th. And so I get to go to work, I get to be their family, and I love that.
Yeah, that's fantastic. And again, the University of Wisconsin is right around the corner for you. What has the communication been like, the school? What are your plans before you head to Madison?
Yeah, I've had a lot of Zoom calls lately with, we had one with the whole team and then just with our class talking about different leadership things. I'm getting ready to go onto campus, getting my final stuff done before I go and getting all my workouts in.
Well, Gabi, again, congratulations on a great career. And, you really are one that we love covering at the State Champ Sports Network as long as we did. You represent the UP fantastically, and best of luck in your future. We'll keep tabs.
Thank you so much.
Let us continue. From Grand Haven High School, Kathryn Ackerman. Her given name might be Kathryn Ackerman, but she would have every right to change her name to Kathryn Accomplished. In Grand Haven, the most decorated athlete they've ever had. In Michigan high school swimming, one of the greatest all time. You could say it's in the genes.
Swimming actually has a really extended history in my family. My great-grandpa Walt was a swimmer, and then my grandpa was also a swimmer, and then his 3 children were all swimmers, and then one of those includes my mom. And then I also have 2 sisters, and then 7 cousins on my mom's side that all swim. So definitely a family thing.
A 5-time Division I champion, 3 200 individual medley titles. She set the all-class state record as a sophomore, then broke that her junior year with a time of 157.25, second best in the nation. She also won the butterfly her junior year and the backstroke last fall. Last December, she swam her way to the junior national title in the 400 IM. Soon, Kathryn will officially be a 4-time All-American. She earned a spot in 3 events at the next Olympic trials. She's earned it the old-fashioned way.
You have to be willing to put in that time and effort, constantly. Swimming especially requires early morning practices in the pool and early morning practices out of the pool where you're lifting weights, and then on top of that you have practices in the afternoon and then more weights. So it's definitely a commitment, but you realize that there are these sacrifices, and that if you are willing to take those and go forth with that, it'll definitely pay off in the end.
As a member of the Student Senate, she's taken on committees such as Homecoming and the Adopt a Family Committee. Then there's music. Ackerman's been a talented violinist in the orchestra since the 4th grade.
I was lucky enough to be a concert master my freshman year of high school in the concert orchestra, which is all freshmen. And then you kind of keep stepping up the orchestras as you get older. So I was then in symphony orchestra my sophomore year in high school. And then the past 2 years I've been in the chamber orchestra, which is the highest level orchestra. We play professional level literature. It's a lot of fun to have that change from swimming too, and just have that little other creative outlet.
A full load of AP courses, Kathryn's achieved a 4.14 GPA, National Honor Society, and a Scholastic All-American 3 years running. She will swim at Michigan and study in the College of Engineering. Her goals are clear.
I feel like a lot of swimmers and athletes, the biggest dream there can possibly be is to make the Olympic team. One of my biggest dreams has probably been to win a Big Ten championship sometime in college. The Big Tens are super competitive, so I know it would be tough, but my times right now, I think, set me up in a good spot for potentially winning an event in Big Tens in college. So hopefully, if I keep doing what I've been doing, it'll take me there.
Kathryn Accomplished Ackerman, Grand Haven High School. So Kathryn gets a chance to join us once again. And, when you get, I meant it when, we could call you Kathryn Accomplished just from all the things that you've been able to do. When you watch that video, what are the things that kind of flood back to you?
Just a lot of raw emotions come back from high school. I remember joining the team as a freshman, and then throughout those 4 years, so many things have happened. And this video kind of just sums it all up and brings it all back. And it's fun to have this last little memory before we go off to college and reminisce on all those high school moments.
And one of the things we did not talk about, because again, there were a lot of things that you get involved with, was synchronized swimming. You've been doing that for a long time too, right?
Yeah, I have. There's actually a club at my high school called Catalina, and it's what you said, it's a synchronized swimming club, and it's actually the largest club at my school with around 300 girls that participate each year. And so I joined that my freshman year, and then I've been doing it the past 4 years all throughout high school. So it's a super fun club. It's not like a competitive team or anything. We just have morning practices once a week, and then we have a Saturday rehearsal. And then at the end of the year in March, we have the Catalina Club show. So it's a lot of fun.
And I know that you're someone who craves doing a lot of different types of activities. You've obviously had a lot of time on your hands, I would assume, here since COVID-19 has kind of changed our world. What's the one thing that you've had a chance to do that maybe you would have never had an opportunity to do without this situation arising?
This whole quarantine has definitely forced me to be out of my element in the pool all the time, but thankfully some outdoor pools are opening back up, so I'll be able to get back to that soon. But I've had a lot of time to just be outdoors, and one thing that I've kind of picked up again is running. I've never been super competitive with running. I only did track in 8th grade, but it's been fun to get outside and run a little bit more because that's been one of my main forms of exercise, and just that's my one way to work out right now, and to be able to pick that up again has been a lot of fun.
What's your schedule for University of Michigan? What have they talked to you and what the next progression is for you there?
So we actually haven't heard much about the fall schedule yet. I've heard from my older sister who's at Michigan State that they're planning on going back in the fall. And then I think the last 3 weeks of the semester, they're going to have online courses or switch what they had to online. So I assume that Michigan will do something similar, but if not, and I'm hoping that we'll have even more in-person classes compared to online. So we're still waiting to hear back. I think they said they would report to us what their final decision is the end of June. So hopefully soon we'll hear what our fall and spring schedule looks like.
Well, I'm sure you will find out soon enough, and I know that you are going to have an amazing career. We really are hoping that not only will you win a Big Ten championship, but also live that Olympic dream. So, Kathryn, again, congratulations on everything you've been able to do out there at Grand Haven High School, and certainly your name is in the record book, and we'll remember you for a long time. Thanks again.
Thank you so much.
Next up, from Novi High School, Avery Finchel. Confidence, a feeling of self-assurance arising from one's appreciation of one's own ability. Avery Finchel embodies that. The Novi girls soccer program is one of the most successful, 7 Division I state titles in 15 years. Fenchel made varsity as a freshman, only to break her collarbone before the state tournament. A strong belief in herself to compete again at the highest level, 21 goals and 9 assists as a sophomore in the 2018 state championship, she scored the game-winning goal, something she shared with her sister.
I think that's one of the cool things about high school is you get to play with a bunch of different ages. Playing with her it was awesome. I love playing with her on the field, especially because we play in positions that are so close to each other that we actually work together. And whenever they were announced, assist Lane Fenchel, goal Avery Finchel, makes my parents proud.
Flash forward to 1 year ago. Novi won the state title again, and again, Avery Finchel leading the way, 25 goals and 14 assists. The team also received the ultimate honor, #1 in the nation. One of the leading candidates for Miss Soccer this year, Fenchel most likely would have produced her second Dream Team honor along with her third first-team All-State appearance. The Wildcats were the favorites to become just the second school to ever three-peat in Division I. Avery was also a captain on her field hockey team. She also carries a 4.0 GPA and would have been on the All-State academic team for a third straight year.
We really strive to be student athletes, so we know we have to do the student part of it, and then our athletics come. And so I think the athletics part was more of a reward for me, so I was able to use that as a motivator, okay, if I get the schoolwork done, then I can go and play my sports for the next 4 hours. So it was nice to have that.
Fenchel volunteers as a coach for her club's youth soccer program. She's worked as a Playworks volunteer, helping young kids learn the value of organized recess. She paints in her spare time and was even a part of the Indian American Student Association. That included a dance she had to perform at the club's annual event. Now that's confidence.
I applied for a certain type of dance, and so I did Evolution, which is taking you through the different time cultures of Indian dancing. And so we had 2 choreographers, and we'd go to their houses and they teach us the dance, and then we had to get costumes, and then we had a performance in May. And so it was kind of funny because my whole soccer team came, supported me, were cheering me on in the stands, and I was just up there dancing, which is not like me to be dancing, but it was a fun experience. I got to meet a lot of new people in my school, and so it just brought, a different side of me out, and it was really fun to do.
Fenchel is headed to play soccer at Indiana's Ball State University. She confidently committed as a sophomore. As for a career, she'll study exercise science with a goal of either occupational therapy or physical therapy.
Be successful in collegiate soccer, and then with that take into my job and really just try to step my way up in my job and become the best that I can be and help others in the community. And I think that, just all around you always want to become the best you can be and be a better person. I think that's something that I look forward to.
Confidence. Avery Finchel, Novi High School. And so now we get a chance to catch up with Avery Finchel one more time while she is still officially a high schooler, although that is ending very soon as she's going to be off to the state of Indiana, the Hoosier State. And one of the things that you mentioned to me before we went on the air today was that there are obviously several not obviously, but there are several players who hail from the state of Michigan, and that now that things have loosened up a bit, you're actually going to start training with the players from here just to kind of get familiar with them and kind of get your skills back.
Yeah, we're starting a next level training, and so there's a group of about 7 of us getting together on Wednesday mornings and just getting to know each other, playing with each other, especially for us incoming freshmen. That's kind of a big deal for us, getting to know them and play with them, how they play, and so I think it'll just be good and get back in the routine of playing soccer.
One of the things that I find interesting, and it's often a dilemma for elite athletes, is that when you enter high school, there obviously is such a competitive club level, especially at the soccer level. A lot of times you have to make a decision on whether you're going to even play for your high school in soccer or just stay with your club so that you can maximize your exposure so that you can eventually, hopefully, land a college scholarship or something along those lines. Was that ever an issue for you?
No, I think I always knew that I wanted to play high school soccer. I wanted to be playing for my school, represent something bigger than myself, and I think that, it was an easy decision for me. I like club season, but I think high school just brings out a different side of soccer, the family side of it, and it's a sense of community. So I think that it was a pretty easy choice for me that I wanted to help represent my school.
Yeah, and it helps when your team, as in last year, was #1 in the nation. So doesn't get much better than that. So
yeah.
That's pretty awesome. I would also say that Indiana is in a little bit of a better situation as far as the pandemic goes here in Michigan. And at Ball State, they've already decided that I believe school will resume at the end of August. And so you're on a pretty narrow timeline here because of your soccer commitments, you'll probably be going relatively soon. What's your timeline?
Yeah, so actually my move-in day is August 2nd, and our report date is August 3rd, and I believe our first day of soccer is August 4th. So it's coming up real soon. So no break, really. We got to train all of July, work on my fitness, and come ready preseason. And I think we have classes all the way until Thanksgiving, and then Thanksgiving we have 3 weeks of online classes. So I'm hoping we're able to get through the whole season this fall.
And for the record, I thought you were a pretty good dancer, so you shouldn't be embarrassed about that.
Yeah, I tried. I practiced a lot.
Right. And that's what you do, right? Practice makes progress. And again, Avery, congratulations on just a wonderful high school career. We certainly covered a lot of you while during your time at Novi High School, and I'm sure the team is going to continue to have great success. And just best of luck in the future. And we'll have to catch up with you at some point just to see how Ball State is doing and how your college career is progressing. But thanks again.
Thank you for everything.
We keep on honoring our DAC Foundation Female Athletes of the Year finalists. From Detroit Edison High School, Gabrielle Elliott. Indomitable, incapable of being defeated, overcome, or subdued. It kind of fits when you're talking about Detroit Edison's Gabrielle Elliott. She's a big reason why the Pioneers have been one of the most dominant girls basketball programs over the past 4 years. Had COVID-19 not shut down the girls basketball tournament, Edison was favored to win a 4th straight state title. A 5'10" guard/forward, Elliott is precise in all facets of the game. Runs in the family. Her brother Greg Elliott was a Mr. Basketball finalist at East English Village and is now playing at Marquette. Legendary backyard games between the two and living room strategy sessions helped Gabi instill the mindset that helped make her the player she is today.
That's my best friend. As much time like he's been home because of the pandemic, I haven't left his side really too much. Like that's really the reason why I picked up the basketball to begin with, and he helps me grow every chance he gets, whether it's just talking or conversation or, oh, I think this move will be good for you, or you need to do more of this. Like he's always helped and always been there for me.
For the first time in the 39-year history of Miss Basketball, this year, the award has gone to back-to-back players from the same school. That speaks volumes to Gabi winning the award. Ranked the 6th best wing position player in the country, Elliott led a Pioneer squad that went 22-0, were ranked number 1 in the state. She averaged nearly 23 points a game, over 9 rebounds, nearly 4 assists, and 4 steals. The AP Division II Player of the Year. She's been first-team All-State all 4 years. Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year. And she would have given it all up just to finish this season.
We talked about a 4-peat. Like, that's really all I wanted as a senior. Like, the awards, they're nice. I'm so grateful to have them and to be recognized, but the state championship was first. And it's not, I know it's a chance. I know it's not a chance that I'm going to finish. And it's like, I honestly I never thought this would have happened. Like, you thinking about it, like, coach yelling at you in practice, and you like, well, the team's not on their game this week. We might not win. We don't even get a chance to compete. So it hurts. But I for sure will give them up in a heartbeat. They're like, all you got to do is this. We're like, oh, yep, you guys are suiting up tomorrow because I gave it all back.
A 3.3 GPA, she made the honor roll and the dean's list. She was treasurer of the senior committee. She volunteered her time helping at athletic events and tutoring 1st through 6th graders after school, just wanting to help and, of course, passing on some of her basketball IQ.
Help wherever the teacher needs me. I've graded papers before. I made lunches, passed out food, stuff like that. I've done a lot of different stuff. Really, whatever needs to be done, kind of did it. I have an older brother, Delante. I've helped him work out some girls before in basketball. Like, he calls me a lot. I'm like, oh, what y'all do in practice for this? Like, I know they not depths of girls, but we can work out like depths of girls. So I've done some stuff with him, trained out some kids with him.
Schools like Marquette, North Carolina, Minnesota, and Tennessee all came calling, but it was a particular school down south she fell in love with, Clemson.
The atmosphere was great, and it was a football day, so the atmosphere was great. It was just so fun. Facility is nice. It was like, yeah, I love the coaches already. The team made me feel like I belonged. Like, it was just perfect there.
And she'll carry that indomitable spirit with her, maybe all the way to the WNBA. Gabrielle Elliott, Detroit Edison High School. And we are joined once again by Gabrielle Elliott. So you watch that. What goes through your mind?
The video is actually pretty great. Saw some things I didn't expect to see. Bittersweet moment, though, because this week I'm actually, packing up my stuff, getting ready to head to Clemson. So it's crazy that I've came this far and that we're here right now.
And even though it is bittersweet, there has got to be a tremendous amount of excitement for what you are about to embark on.
I feel like every freshman going into college is excited, and of course a little bit nervous because you don't know what to expect. You're a freshman at the bottom of the totem pole again, and you got to work your way up, but that's also the hunger and excitement. That's what I'm most excited about, to start from the bottom and build a new name for myself.
It's very similar, like when you came into high school, you were fortunate that you were able to be on the varsity team as a freshman and then have to kind of prove yourself to stay in the lineup, because I'm sure there were a lot of upperclassmen who preferred to play over you, but obviously you prevailed through that. So I would imagine this kind of challenge is what you relish most.
It is, because it's the same thing it was in high school. A lot of people didn't expect to see freshmen playing in the games I played in or in the position that I was put in, but it's what you prepare for. You prepare for the unexpected because you never know what can happen.
Obviously, you and your brother are very close. Have you had a chance to spend as much time as you could with him?
Since the pandemic really began, I probably spent the total of 2 days apart from him. So we really absorbed all this time that we could together, because I'm about to go to college, and I know it's kind of hard for him to get home from college. So both of us being gone, we're not going to see each other as much. Like, of course, we'll talk every day, but being able to physically be here with him, I'm taking it all in.
A remarkable career for you. We enjoyed it every step of the way. Best of luck, and please stay in touch with us so we can find out exactly. Well, we can actually just probably watch you on television and follow your career as it advances. Thanks again for doing this, and best of luck. We introduce to you now from Grosse Pointe Woods University Liggett, Sophie House. Dedicated. By definition, devoted to a purpose and having single-minded loyalty. Grosse Pointe Woods University Liggett's Sophie House has dedicated most of her young life to the sport of swimming. At the tender age of 10, at the club state meet, she won half a dozen races and broke state records just 1 year later. She took it all in stride.
I didn't really think about it then as anything. It was just kind of the way I was built to swim, so I just let it happen, if that makes sense. I never really thought that hard into how well I was doing, because I never really thought of myself as being that good. I always wanted to go to the next step, and at being young, I was always looking up to other people, and I was I want to be like them when I'm older.
As a youngster, she earned her share of frequent flyer miles competing in southern states like Florida and Georgia. Following in her mother's footsteps, Housey attended University Liggett schools as a kid all the way through high school. Problem was, the high school had no swim team until her junior year. Sophie jumped on board. Juggling both her national schedule and high school was a challenge. By the time the high school state meet came around, a little uncertainty crept in.
Honestly, states was so nerve-wracking, and I'm not sure why. I've never been so nervous, compared to the U.S. Open or the Winter Juniors. It was more like I was unfamiliar with the setting and the people. I didn't get to fully rest for that meet because I had to go to Winter Juniors the week after. So I kind of went into it tired and hoping for the best, and then it turned out pretty well. I was swimming well, and it was a fun time. I was just happy to be a part of like a little team, and we all worked really hard, and I think we ended up 6th, which is actually really good considering there was only 8 of us there.
But individually, Sophie set the state record in both the 100 and the 200 freestyle. She was a dream teamer and the Coaches Association Swimmer of the Year, and the whole time enjoying being a part of what was being built at Liggett. Out of the pool, working as an athletic liaison at the school, helped raise funds for the Detroit YMCA Swim Club, and helped at the Capuchin Food Bank. Swimming for the Michigan Gators, Housey has achieved more than 10 top 8 finishes at the Junior Nationals. A 3.8 GPA, Housey graduated early to swim in Florida to make the cut for the U.S. Olympic trials. But COVID-19 has delayed that till next year. As far as where she'll swim in college, along with current nominee Kathryn Ackerman, Sophie, too, will swim at Michigan.
We have 10 girls in our recruiting class, and I think like 5 or 6 of us are from Michigan. So that's pretty cool to be able to have like girls from here going to Michigan. You know, we're all like up there at the top of our class, and it's pretty cool just to, I've been competing with her along with a few other girls my whole life, and it's just pretty awesome that we're gonna go from competitors to teammates, you know.
And a renewed sense of dedication. Sophie House, Grosse Pointe Woods, University Liggett. Okay, so we're joined once again by Sophie House, and she recently is actually back in Michigan from spending time in Florida. And I know originally, as we mentioned in the story there, Sophie, is you went to Florida, graduated early so that you could kind of get ready for the U.S. Olympic trials. But even if it's just vacation in Florida, you're off in training, I would assume.
Yeah, when I'm in Florida, I train around 4.5 hours a day. Between swimming, running, and weights. So, yeah, not a lot of vacation, a lot of intense training.
Right. How do you maintain that? I mean, obviously you have goals, you have objectives, and you have lofty goals, and you need to do that. But where do you find that inner drive to keep you doing what you're doing?
Actually, just being in Florida, knowing that I graduated early specifically to reach a goal, that kind of helped me a lot just to stay on track and make sure I'm doing everything I need to do to be the best swimmer I am. That's about it. I mean,
when you see the video and it kind of, talks a lot about your life and how long you've been dedicated to the sport, I thought, obviously one of the most unique features is that, you were instrumental in helping start University Liggett have a swim team. And so that's kind of a lasting legacy for you at the school there.
In previous years, I think they did have one, but it was combined men and women. So it was a long time ago, like my mom was on it. So I think that it's pretty cool, honestly, just to know that there's girls below me that are going to be able to have the opportunity to swim in state championships possibly, or just Catholic leagues, because they're great meets and it's a fun time to finally have someone at your school you can see as a teammate.
So like Kathryn Ackerman, you will be at the University of Michigan swimming, and I know you're excited about that. What have they kind of told you about when you guys will be going back to Ann Arbor? Kind of what's the status now?
For swimming, at least, we're not sure. Hopefully, event this summer. Hopefully, August. I do know that some other teams like basketball or I think maybe football are able to go back sooner due to NCAA saying that they were allowed to. But besides that, we're pretty unsure at the moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, Sophie, congratulations on everything that you've accomplished thus far, and you have a bright, bright future ahead, and good luck with the Wolverines. And the last of our female finalists we celebrate tonight from Farmington Hills Mercy High School, Jess Mruzik. Emphatic, expressing something forcibly or clearly. If you attended any of Farmington Hills Mercy's volleyball games over the last several years, if you closed your eyes and just listened to the sound when Jess Mruzik struck the ball, it was explosive. In All-State or all 4 years, first team the last 3, coming into her senior year, she was already the reigning Michigan Gatorade Volleyball Player of the Year. Her Marlins had yet to win a state title, but Jess was fresh off winning the AAU National Championship and a gold medal with the USA U18 Youth National Team. In both instances, she was named Most Valuable Player. And it was that Youth National Team experience that began her pursuit to prominence.
I was at the USA training camp for the youth national team, and going into it, I was kind of struggling mentally. I hadn't been surrounded by that many amazing volleyball players in my whole life, so I was kind of like shocked. I didn't really know what to do, but that was definitely a turning point in my volleyball career. That mental toughness got me through it, and when we went down to Honduras to play in the Continental Championships and won, that was when I realized that volleyball is what I wanted to stick with, and I want to play at the highest level possible.
That level of success can also have its challenges. The Mercy team got off to a great start before Mruzik had to take a detour. The national team again came calling. She was off to Egypt.
We knew we could accomplish great things this year, and obviously I wanted to be a huge part in that, and I wanted to be there every step of the way, but making that, again, another sacrifice to leave my high school team. I had total trust in them and knew they could handle business while I was gone.
Overseas, another gold medal and another tournament MVP. And although Mercy lost one match while Jess was away, she rejoined the team and helped them avenge that defeat and lead the Marlins to a 59-1 record and their first ever state championship. And despite missing 16 games, 495 kills, 209 digs, 47 aces, 19 blocks, she finished her high school career with 2,151 kills. Her team ranked 4th in the country.
Everything we worked for the past 3 or 4 years had finally been so recognized by everybody. They all saw what we were doing, how much work we were putting in, all the hours, all the sacrifice, and it's just something that I can't describe as an athlete being in that moment. It's something that you work for your whole life, and it's unreal. I still get chills thinking about it.
Jess was awarded her second Gatorade Michigan Player of the Year, then voted National Player of the Year, Under Armour All-American, and of course, Michigan Miss Volleyball. Her number 33 jersey, retired. A 3.47 GPA and National Honor Society the last 2 years, Mruzik also found the time to be a part of the Spirit Club, Animal Rights Club, Science Club, a quilting initiative to benefit children of families in need, and take part all 4 years in the Mercy High School Day of Mercy.
This year we ended up going to Detroit to pick some vegetables from a local garden, or some people go to foster homes, or they go to little kids' schools. So it's just really nice being able to go out and give back to your community, because that's something that I personally value, and that's something that Mercy personally values too.
Already enrolled at the University of Michigan, she is pursuing a career in medicine. She emphatically says her dream since the 4th grade is to make the Olympic team. Jess Mruzik, Farmington Hills Mercy High School. All right, so what an amazing story. We have Jess Mruzik back with us one more time before she embarks on what is sure to be an amazing ride, as if it hasn't been one already for you. When you watch that video and you kind of see everything that you've done in a relatively short period of time, what goes through your mind?
I keep using the word unreal and the phrase, I can't really put it into words, but honestly, that's the reality of it. So many people ask me my thoughts over the past 2 years, and I can only say it's just a blessing, and I've had the best support system out there pushing me every day, so it's really something I can't put into words, and just hearing all of my accomplishments and where I've been over the past couple years out loud is something that I'll cherish with me forever.
And now, obviously, you are on to the next stage of your life. Talk about your excitement for that. You're already at the University of Michigan, so you're the one early enrollee that we have out of this entire crop for this year's finalist group. I know we've talked about it before, but just, being already at the University of Michigan and with volleyball, what's kind of the status that right now as far as when you guys should be able to play again?
So we've been having Zoom team meetings over the past couple months, and it's been nice just to stay in touch with the coaches and my teammates and everything. But now we're finally starting to get back in the swing of things. I know our football team moves on campus this weekend, and we will start to work ourselves in there around June 22nd. So we'll start filling out daily surveys, asking how we're feeling, and then I believe July 6th, we get tested. So then that starts a whole new process of getting on campus, working out, small group workouts, and all that fun stuff. So I'm just super excited to get back on campus. It's been a long time.
Do you feel, and I'm sure you're energized by it, but do you feel that, okay, wow, I get an opportunity now to prove myself all over again, another challenge in front of me?
Yeah, definitely. Moving on to collegiate volleyball, and especially the Big Ten, is just another chapter in my life. And I know I've heard a lot of rumors that I'm not going to be able to handle it, I'm not going to perform as well, and that all just motivates me. So I'm just really excited to go out there, work as hard as I can, and prove myself at the next level.
All right, well, we are all very proud of you. Good luck, and I'm sure those Olympic dreams, those bells, hopefully are going to be chiming for you very soon, and in a few years at least. And just again, thank you for everything, and congratulations on everything you've been able to do this far, and everything you will do in the future. Good luck.
Thank you.
We truly wish each and every one of our female finalists the absolute best in all of their future endeavors. And now we turn our attention to the 2020 Male High School Athlete of the Year finalists. From Coldwater High School, Dylan Taggart. Unshakable, unable to be disputed or questioned. That describes perfectly Coldwater's Dylan Taggart. Three-sport athlete, high-achieving scholar, national record holder, a constant quest to be better today than yesterday. Growing up, his favorite sport was basketball, and he took to football too. This year on the gridiron, All-State honorable mention, and before COVID-19 shut down the state basketball tournament, he scored his 1,000th career point, all-conference in both sports. But it's track and field that Targgart has truly left his mark. His older brother threw the shot put and the discus, and as a kid, Dylan got hooked.
There's just something about watching a heavy object fly really far. I really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to be the guy that everyone was like, wow, that's a long ways.
But to be an elite thrower requires a rigorous training regimen.
You have to have strength, you have to have speed, and you have to have technique. And there's different ways to train for each of those. So obviously, spending a lot of time in the weight room is what it takes to get strong. So you really have to buy into that and do specific strength workouts for throwing even. You have to have speed too, so you have to work on sprints, jumps, all that explosive stuff. And then lastly, you just have to dial in your technique. So getting thousands of reps doing the same thing over and over again and turning it into muscle memory is really what it takes.
Heading into his senior season this spring, his throwing resume already included a total of 8 All-State places, which includes 4 indoor state championships and 4 outdoor state championships, a Michigan Division II state championship by nearly 5 feet, and 1 national championship. His winning shot put throw of 69 feet 4 1/4 inches at the New Balance Nationals is the furthest throw ever from an athlete repping the state of Michigan. In the classroom, despite tackling 7 advancement placement courses, Taggart has an almost 4.3 GPA, academic all-state in all 3 sports, all 4 years. But he's also been an advocate, including being a part of a coalition against sexual assault.
There were 4 of us who were put in charge of this group, and we just put together videos and events for the rest of the school to really raise awareness and teach people how to handle certain situations. I wasn't really aware of some of the stuff that goes on in a high school or wherever it may be, so just learning about that and learning to be more sympathetic for people, it helped a lot.
Dylan has done a lot of service for the Coldwater Rotary Club and enjoys volunteering his time to read to elementary kids. When it came to decide where he would both pursue the next challenge of athletics and academics, he decided to go south, the University of South Carolina, that is. So, what's the dream for Dylan?
I would love the chance to compete at the Olympic trials, and hopefully I'd make the Olympics, but after that and after athletics is done, I really want to become a financial advisor.
Unshakable. Dylan Taggart, Coldwater High School. All right, so we get one last time to speak with Dylan Taggart here. And Dylan, thank you so much for everything that you've brought to the high school landscape. Obviously, you're a great champion, a great scholar. You got involved in a lot of activities and causes. When you watch a video, on what your life has kind of been over the last 4 years, what are some of your emotions as you kind of take it all in?
Yeah, it's kind of surreal. I really enjoyed my time in high school and was able to have some success, but also I can't believe it's already gone. It's kind of crazy.
What are you going to miss the most? Because if my understanding is correct, at South Carolina, you're focusing strictly on track and field, correct?
Yep. I'm going to miss a lot of things. I'm going to obviously miss football and basketball themselves, but along with that, all of the great relationships and bonds that I've made with my teammates and brothers. So it's really going to be an adjustment.
South Carolina and Michigan probably couldn't be more different. So it's going to be a completely new, immersive experience for you. And what's the situation in South Carolina with the pandemic? When do you plan on getting to school?
So right now we're still planning on going back normal time. So like August 16th, I think, is my move-in date. And we're going to go there. And as of right now, I think there's going to be no fall break, and they're going to go all the way to Thanksgiving. And then everything from there is going to be online. But fortunately, the athletes are still going to be able to remain on campus, so it shouldn't affect my schedule too much.
Nice. It'll allow you guys to focus as well. Are you doing anything now that maybe things have opened up here or maybe that have opened up elsewhere? Any other kinds of, events, or has everything just been canceled for this year as far as national competition?
There still is a chance that the national track meet will go on. They just said that it'll be moved to South Dakota and it'll be like the first weekend in August. They're going to make the final decision on that June 15th, I think. So still holding out hope for that. And I've just been training and trying to be as good as I can be under the circumstances.
Right. Absolutely. Well, we want to wish you the best of luck. I know that you're going to be great in whatever it is you decide to do. Hopefully you'll be able to maybe reach those Olympic dreams. If not, maybe I'll hire you as my financial advisor.
That sounds great.
Okay. All right. Well, Dylan Taggart, thank you so much. And again, you represented Coldwater well, my man. And we love it when we see our 3-sport athletes. And I know you're going to carry everything that you were able to do here down south and into the future. So once again, thanks again and congratulations and good luck.
Thank you for the great honor.
Our second finalist is from Plymouth High School, Carter Solomon. Commitment. When you're the top distance runner in the state, focus is the key. Mr. Cross Country, Gatorade Cross Country Player of the Year. For Carter Solomon, success is a way of thinking, something he learned from his dad. His first love was basketball, but that soon transferred to running. The principle was the same.
7th or 8th grade, I decided to run cross country, and that work ethic kind of translated over. And not only do you have to work hard in practice, but in races too. You just kind of have to have that mindset. You know, no one's beating me today. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get to the line first. And bringing that mindset into running, you know, from a basketball background was key for me. I think without that background, I would not be the runner I am today.
All state, all 4 years in cross country. Carter finished 5th individually his sophomore year, 2nd his junior year, state champ his senior year. Last fall, he broke the 15-minute mark not once, but twice, running the 2nd fastest time in state history at 14:42. Now, in order to elevate his game to the national level, a sacrifice had to be made.
It was either try and qualify for Foot Locker Nationals or try out for the varsity basketball team. And I knew my chances of making the varsity basketball team were a lot higher than qualifying for Foot Locker Nationals. So it was definitely a tough decision, but in the end, I feel like I definitely made the right decision.
Twice All-American, Solomon finished 4th at the Foot Locker Nationals in 2018, 2nd in the country just a few months ago. His junior year, Plymouth Cross Country won the team state championship, and when you compare winning the individual crown last fall and the team state title the year before, it's not even close.
It was much more fun winning with the team, you know, having something we all worked for together and having it pay off was just an unbelievable feeling. You know, you could see it in the guys' eyes. You know, they put their heart and soul into the sport, and for it to pay off with the guys that you know so well was awesome.
A 3.74 GPA, Solomon, academic all-state in both cross-country and track, 4 AP courses, including advanced coursework in the STEM Academy. With a variety of offers from top universities, it was the team culture at the University of Notre Dame that won him over.
Coach Carlson is really keen about the team culture. It's very important to him, and I see that tremendously. You know, all the guys were talking about it. I didn't even have to ask them. They just told me about it, you know, how the team is and how they act. I want to be an engineer, and their engineering program was, you know, one of the top in the country, so that spoke for itself.
Whether it's serving the community through his faith-based organization or participating in his local Rotary Club to feed those in need, Carter is all about embodying a strong moral compass in everything he does. Commitment. Carter Solomon, Plymouth High School. So Carter Solomon joining us here one more time before he takes the next step in his future. And Carter, when you see, you know, high school seems like a long time, but when you really think about it, it's just a few years, but you were able to accomplish so much. What were some of the thoughts running through your head when you watched that video?
Yeah, watching that video brought back a lot of great memories. I'm super blessed to be in this position, and reliving those memories will always be a part of me. And looking back at those high school moments is something I'll never forget. And you guys encaptured it very well, and I'm very thankful for that.
And one of the things we really did want to point out was the fact that it really did mean more to you for you to win the cross-country team state championship than it did just as an individual. Because, again, there's more than just sharing the celebration, but it's about the journey between all of you, because every point counts in order to get that hardware at the end.
Yeah, for sure. I remember going through that whole season. You know, there was bumps in the road, and a lot of times our team was down, and we all brought each other back up. And that culture our team had that my junior year when we won that team title was just something that I've never been a part of before. And it was icing on the cake, and to cap it all off with that state championship meant so much to us.
and now you'll be, of course, moving on to the next level. And we have a few athletes who will be continuing their college athletic careers in the state of Indiana. You are one of them at the University of Notre Dame. So I understand that Notre Dame plans on getting going sooner than later. So give us the update on when you'll be hitting campus and start running for the Irish.
Yeah, so college classes at Notre Dame start August 10th. I think I'll go back a few days before, set myself up in my dorm room, and cross country is a go as of now. My coach gave us the update. Cross country is planned to happen in the fall if nothing changes from here on out. So we're going to hit the ground running, and we're training hard now, so we'll be ready to go in the fall.
So obviously you've had success at the state level. You've had success at the regional and national level. Now it's kind of a whole new ball game. You'll be running against, guys that are men, quite frankly, in their 20s. How much are you looking forward to this challenge? And what do you think is going to be the biggest difference competing on this stage as competing on the ones you have already?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to competing with a lot of guys that are going to be much better than I am. That whole environment is going to be, I think it's going to be super humbling to be a part of, and it's going to make me a better runner, hopefully. And, training with, like you said, grown men that are 22, 23 years old with more experience and, stronger and more endurance-based guys. I think training with them and competing against them is going to be super beneficial to myself and ultimately the team.
Well, Carter, I think it's going to be a great experience, and we really wish you the best of luck. Congratulations on everything you were able to achieve in high school, and I know that you're going to represent the state of Michigan very well in the Hoosier State. So thanks again for joining us here today, and best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Next, from Muskegon High School, Cameron Martinez. Determined, having made a firm decision and being resolved not to change it. After his sophomore year at Muskegon Catholic Central, Cameron Martinez decided he would transfer. Just the year prior, in filling the shoes of his brother who had led Muskegon CC to 3 D8 state championships, Cam led the Crusaders to a 4th straight title. Determined he had more to prove, Martinez joined one of the most storied football programs in the state, Muskegon. This was a team fresh off a state title and a quarterback who graduated with the state champs Hungry Howie's Michigan Mr. Football Award tucked underneath his arm. Cam stepped up and set a single-season school rushing record with over 2,500 yards and 38 touchdowns, led the Big Reds back to the state title tilt. This past fall, over 2,100 yards on the ground, 36 touchdowns, nearly 1,300 yards passing, and 11 more TDs, and another trip to Ford Field. Doubt in him, fuel for the fire.
I will say that I am used to it a little bit now, but I guess the way to respond is how I play and just showing people. You play with that chip on your shoulder, I always have something to prove and never be comfortable. That goes a long way.
First team All-State all 4 years. In 2018 and 2019, multiple Player of the Year honors. Dream Teamer, even National Player of the Week in 2018. Capped off the 2019 campaign, Michigan Gatorade Player of the Year, and state champs Hungry Howie's Michigan Mr. Football. Although Saturdays are in his future, the night before will always be special.
There's nothing like Friday night high school football. That's something I always remember. One thing that'll always be in the back of my head is I wish I could have got the number 1 spot for quarterback in the rushing list. But other than that, I'm thankful for all the memories and, just the preparation. Everything is built, and we're preparing. And I feel like, that didn't just help me, for playing on Friday nights, but it also helped me in life.
A 3-sport athlete, Cam was a central figure on the Muskegon CC and Muskegon basketball team. He also ran track at both schools. A 3.6 GPA, National Honor Society the last 2 years, he was homecoming king. Also spent time giving back as a volunteer for his church at the elementary school, and also helped organize an event called Hoodies for the Homeless.
it's always important to give back, and I want to figure out a way I could give back. And like with it getting cold outside, we figured that I could rally up, the whole school into donating sweatshirts and coats or whatever that they didn't really have. And I donated a few items as well, just to give it to, people that didn't have it and people that needed it, because with it being cold outside and, people that can't afford that type of thing, I wanted to find a way to help them out, and that's when we were able to do that. It ended up working out good. We had a lot of people donate sweatshirts and coats, and so it was a success.
Over 30 college offers were on the table, but determined, Cameron accepted the challenge of continuing his career at perhaps the highest profile program in the country, Ohio State.
If you want to be the best, you want to compete with the best, and of course, with Ohio State's track record, they've done a lot of things and have had a lot of success. And for the goals I want to accomplish, they do a good job of doing that, with their players as well.
Determined, Cameron Martinez, Muskegon High School. And now we have an opportunity to catch up once again with that very same Cameron Martinez, who has already begun his college career, so to speak. He has made his move to Ohio. In fact, the only finalist in this year's group who is going to an Ohio university. He's going to Ohio State University, and you're already there. So, Cameron, just to kind of talk about your mental preparation as I know off-season workouts and everything, getting ready to get going.
I think it's very important. I think you always want to be mentally prepared, especially going into a university like this in a football program as dominant as they are. There's a lot of luxuries and things that go along with this, but you can never lose sight of why you're here and what the main goal is.
You've been a quarterback, and you've also been a special teams returner and other things, but now you're being basically groomed to be in the defensive secondary. So what is the mind shift that has to happen for you to see the success that you see yourself achieving?
Well, I just learned a lot. Being at the quarterback spot, I knew going to the next level I wasn't going to be playing that position, especially going to the school that I'm at right now. I knew it would be different, so anything would have been a learning experience for me, and just to learn everything, because all of it would have been new. I played defense at Catholic and done a little bit at Muskegon as well, so it's not something that's just star-struck into me. But always just want to stay ahead of the game and learn and just be educated from my coaching staff, just to make sure that I'm doing everything I need to be doing.
One thing that I read just recently is the relationship that you have with your brother, who is a few years older than you, also attended Catholic Central, won a state title as well as you did, and I found it struck me that he had written an article once, or written an essay once, exclaiming that you were his hero, that he admired a lot of the ways that you were bringing yourself up. And I just wanted you to kind of comment on the relationship that both of you have and how both of you lean on each other, because obviously you're now stepping into the next phase of your life, and it's important to have that support system, that family around you, because there's going to be situations you're going to find yourself never having faced before.
That's my right-hand man. We've done everything together, and we've been through everything together as well. And he's a prime example of playing quarterback in high school and then making the switch to a different position in college. And he's a receiver, so with me being a defensive back, just able to work with each other every day and be in the same house, and go through everything, and just to get better and make each other better.
So you watched the video, you've seen, obviously all the highlights are great, and now you're stepping into this entirely new phase. You're going to have to work your way up from the bottom, and I know this is something you visioned, and this is where you see yourself. But what are your emotions right now as you prepare to really step on the big stage?
It was crazy just watching that video. It's kind of like my whole 4 years was just going by in my head, and just the whole process and how it was all how it was all going, how fast it went.
I'll tell you what, one of the greatest athletes to ever come out of Muskegon, and that is not a small statement. So congratulations on everything that you've been able to accomplish over the last 4 years. Certainly you've left an indelible mark, not only in the minds of those who've seen you play high school football, but in the record books as well, for winning Mr. Football again. Fantastic. And really look forward to seeing how you progress over the next 4 years and in your future. So all we could say is the best of luck. We'll be watching.
Thank you, and appreciate everything you guys do, and putting this whole thing together too. And with everything going on, making it work, I really appreciate that.
Our fourth DAC Foundation Male High School Athlete of the Year finalist is from Okemos High School, Hunter Hollenbeck. Fearlessness. The really great athletes have it. In some, the freedom a lack of fear provides can often propel you to new heights. To succeed in diving, all caution is thrown to the wind. Okemos Hunter Hollenbeck is a 2-time state champ and a 2-time Diver of the Year.
It's the old proverb where it's the master has failed more times than the beginner has even tried. I know that every time I fail, I will learn something, and being able to learn something makes it entirely worth it.
A junior national semifinalist, Hollenbeck was days away from the state championships when the state shut down. Hunter would have finished a first-team All-Stater all 4 years. Training 2 hours a day, he's an All-American, a work ethic he observed from the matriarch of the family.
My mom, before she had me, she was 35 and she was top 30 for tennis in her age group. Wow. And she didn't even play tennis until she was 25. So she had the desire to work hard even when she had a professional job, and she was working really hard towards her graduate degree, and she still made time for tennis, and she got good at it, and the results paid off.
Hunter has learned from some of the best coaches and programs all over the state, and it translates into the classroom as well. A 4.0 GPA, he's a national AP scholar with scores of 4 or the highest score 5 on 8 AP exams. A National Honor Society student representative, he's worked as a research volunteer in pediatric and cancer departments at Michigan State. He works with a local elementary school, helping kids in the coding club. This culminated in Hunter receiving a State of Michigan special tribute from the governor for his overall achievement in sport, school, and service.
I always do most of it for other people, whether it's saying hi to someone at a diving meet and cheering them on, or working extra hard in school and making my teachers happy by bringing them baked goods, or helping little kids at church while the parents are at the sermon. And I do these things for other people, but I don't expect to get any recognition out of it. And receiving the recognition for that is both surprising, but also makes it feel worthwhile, or even more worthwhile.
As for college, Hunter wanted to attend a school that would be the best fit both academically and for swimming. But with just a 4% acceptance rate that included having to write 10 essays, Hollenbeck rose to the challenge and was accepted to Stanford University.
It was such a relief to get in. It's hard to say that you can truly get something, because I could do amazing at a diving meet, but I wouldn't get all of it unless I got first. And getting into Stanford is as if I got first.
Fearlessness. Hunter Hollenbeck, Okemos High School. Okay, so that is Hunter Hollenbeck, and we have Hunter once again joining us here as he actually is on the road right now. You have to do what you have to do when you're in a pandemic situation. Find the areas that have the opportunities for you to train, and that's what you're doing right now, right? You're in the Hoosier State.
Yes, so I am basically in the middle of nowhere, Indiana, where there so happens to be a diving tower, and luckily, Indiana has opened up some outdoor sporting events. So I'm trying to just dive down here, get 6 hours of practice every day, and just really restart my diving.
You've logged so many miles over the course of your high school career, for instance, going from coach to coach in various parts of the state, because each one brings a little something different to the table and allows you to progress more and more. So I just wanted to kind of point it out there and get your comment on the fact that, of just how many miles you've logged, and even though it seems, like it's long and arduous, this is all part of your journey.
Yeah, completely. I feel that being able to travel and being able to meet other coaches, meet other divers only helps me in my sport, because whether it's hearing something new or just hearing it in a different way and being able to talk to different divers about maybe how their day is or what their biggest fears in diving are, it makes me feel more connected with the sport. And the more connected I feel, the more comfortable I am.
Well, one of the things we also did not dive into, and this was kind of more revealed in the letter of recommendation that came for you, was that I guess you are quite skilled in the kitchen, and that your baking skills are quite impressive.
Yes, it's funny you say that, because I just came to this interview from grilling burgers. But yeah, I try my best to bake because I think it's such an easy way to get into conversation with people, just whether it's someone in the hallway or a teacher. I think it's a good way for me to meet new people and hear people's stories. And in addition, they can get a free baked goods. So really, in the end, it's a win-win.
You really had your heart set on Stanford, and you were able to do it, my man. And I know the essays and the entrance exam and the very low percentage of those who actually get in, you're in. But now we're almost at the day where you're going to be there. And just from an academic and obviously an athletic side, it's going to be extremely difficult. But I guess just from what I can gather, that's something you really relish. You love that challenge.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a very big fan of the challenge. When I've going through high school, my parents were always nervous about my class selections, whether it'd be too hard or not. And I've always been one to start as hard as possible and then ease up if it's needed, because I find that's easier to ease up than to push more on the gas pedal. So as I'm going into Stanford, I have that in the back of my mind, because I'm going to be diving like 20, 25 hours a week, and I'm going to be doing a hard major, whether it's material science, chemical engineering, or physics. So I think being able to balance that, but also finding excitement through everything I do, is going to be the most important thing I do at Stanford.
Hunter Hollenbeck, thank you so much for joining us once again from parts unknown Indiana, and the best of luck as you head west, and who knows where you might end up, but we appreciate you, congratulate you on your high school career and everything you have moving forward.
Yeah, thank you so much. It's amazing to be able to receive this award and have it be the culmination of my high school experience, and now I'll be able to take it with me for the rest of my life, and that is just truly special.
Now, from Clarkston High School, Luke Bayless. Motivated to stimulate someone's interest in doing something. Clarkston's Luke Bayless is more than just a tennis player. His coach called him the poster boy for high school tennis. In a sport that, for the most part, is an individual focus, oftentimes the elite players opt to hone their skills on the national circuit with hired guns to improve their game. Most don't compete for their high school. Luke embraced it. Tennis is a team sport, and a rising tide lifts all boats.
When you're playing tennis, is a pretty lonely sport. You don't really usually have people around you, so I try to cherish all I can with my team, because the Clarkston tennis community is just, they're like a second family to me. The parents, the kids, and I just treat them like we're all the same, and we all work really hard together. And it's not just for me. Obviously, it feels good that I could win a state title and I have that goal, but at the same time, I have the goal to help all my teammates achieve what they want to achieve at the same time, and have everyone get better, because it's about the team. It's not just about yourself.
The team always qualified for states, finishing as high as 5th last season. Individually, Luke went 28-1. Only lost 4 sets the entire season, swept his way through the state finals, finished his high school career with 110 wins. He was named All-State all 4 years. He has a 5-star national ranking and was ranked number 1 in the Midwest by the USTA in 2019. the Michigan coaches named him Mr. Tennis. But this success has been a process that took time to pay off.
You know, I haven't always been the high-level player in Michigan or in the Midwest or even in the nation, and I always used to get defeated about that because I knew I didn't think I could ever get to a point in tennis where I'd get to be named Mr. Tennis. And, you know, now that all my hard work's paid off, I realize that, you know, anything is possible.
He's motivated in the classroom too. A 4.18 GPA, Baylis has been in the top 5% of his class all 4 years. For the last 6 years, he's been a member of the core leadership program that encompasses a lot.
We run events like Charity Week, which we have a couple charities, the Chad Tough Foundation, a couple local charities, and within that week we do a talent show, we do dodgeball tournament, we do a volleyball tournament, we host this Chad Tough game for the basketball boys and girls on Friday night, and we raise a lot of money for the Chad Tough Foundation as well as all the other local charities that can help kids earn scholarships for college, as well as just taking the money to the charity itself. We go to elementary schools. We teach the third graders about kind of self-love and what leadership means, just so that, you know, they can start from there, because that's where you kind of get the problems with everything. So start them in third grade and teach them the right techniques so that once they get to high school, they don't have any issues.
Luke also started the Real Talk program to help kids deal with the tragic deaths of a few of their classmates, including one of his close friends.
It's a program where we bring faculty members as well as students together to kind of break the stigma of mental health, help kids realize that they're not alone. I'm not saying that whatever mental health you have is not gonna go away, but at the same time, it's gonna give you a family and realize that you're not alone in all these issues. And it's really rewarding to see, because we have kids come up to us after this event that were hesitant to go in the first place and be like, wow, you know, I feel like I have someone that I can talk to now. And that's all the point is, you know, we're just trying to give kids a place, because a lot of times they don't have that space to talk about their issues and they're kind of built up and then they explode. So you really need to have those talks, and that's what Real Talk is all about.
Headed to Michigan State to continue his tennis career, Luke plans on studying mechanical engineering or go pre-med. Motivated. Luke Bayless, Clarkston High School. All right, so one more chance to talk with Luke Bayless before he is off to Michigan State. And I tell you, you know, look out, Michigan State, because when it comes to people who are going to get involved and a lot of things are going to be going on at the university, I have a feeling you did so much in high school. I have a feeling you're just going to be as busy outside of the tennis season, getting involved in all kinds of things on campus as you were at Clarkston. Am I right?
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to try to get involved in as many community service activities that I can to help. Now it's not Clarkston anymore, it's East Lansing, and I'm going to do whatever I can to help that community over there and help the Michigan State community as well.
How much are you looking forward to really getting on campus and really becoming an integral part of some of the unique things happening there?
I'm just so excited. I can't wait at all. I wish it was already here. It's coming sooner. But yeah, I'm just super excited to see what's to come. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but at the same time, I know that great things are going to happen with the tennis program, with me individually, and everyone at Michigan State. So I'm just excited to see what's to come.
I'm sure they've reached out to you in terms of, the athletic program and the tennis program as to, now that some of the outdoor activities are starting to loosen, kind of what's your game plan here before you head off to East Lansing?
So maybe I'll be going in the summer. I'm not exactly sure yet for a second semester. It's still up in the air. Right now, they're only letting a couple sports up at Michigan State. But yeah, as of now, I mean, so luckily it's a spring sport, so our season should be a go. Hopefully by then, the COVID-19 stuff will kind of slow down and we'll be able to have our season. But, you know, we're just going to take as many precautions as we can to make sure that we have the chance to have a good season and have a season at all.
Now, different areas of the country obviously aren't affected as much as, say, a state like Michigan. Are you going to be doing some traveling? You're going to be playing nationally?
Yeah, I think that we'll still be playing nationally. It's obviously going to look a little bit different. It just kind of depends. You kind of just have to go with the flow. But Michigan State's men's tennis team has been really tough. You know, we've been doing workouts with each other. So we've been staying on top of it and getting that team camaraderie that we need to be successful next year.
And as you watch that video and you kind of now definitely have high school in the rear view mirror, what are your feelings as to all that you really did accomplish?
Yeah, it's bittersweet. I'm obviously going to miss high school tennis. I'm going to miss going to Clarkston High School every day. But at the same time, I think I'm ready for that next chapter of my life, and I'm ready to see what's to come at Michigan State and go from there. It's obviously sad, but at the same time, I'm really excited.
Absolutely, and you should be excited. Good luck, Luke Bayless, on everything that's going to lie ahead of you. I have a feeling we're going to be hearing a lot more about some of your accomplishments, both on and off the tennis court. So congratulations, and thanks again.
Thanks so much.
The last male finalist we honored tonight is from Troy Athens High School, Jason Kemp. Savvy. By definition, to make good judgments. In the game of soccer, the goalie is the last line of defense. Last fall, Troy Athens' Jason Kemp recorded 15 shutouts, 32 throughout his high school career, including 6 straight. Both are state records. It had been 22 years since the Red Hawks won a state title. Kemp and his cronies ended that drought.
It's been talked about since I was like 10, 11, because I knew that I was going to play with these same kids on my travel team to go into high school. So our goal was to win a state championship. And I know it sounds cheesy, but that was in our brains since we were 12 years old.
First team All-State the last 2 years, dream team this season. One of just 3 goalies in the nation to be named All-American. Visualization is key, and Jason exemplifies that in all endeavors. A 4.01 GPA, Kemp enrolled in the 2-year AP Capstone program. It involved a team academic project, then came a year-long individual research mission.
I wrote a 20-page report about how the price of shoes affects a runner's performance. So I took different price shoes at different price points from different brands, put them together, had kids run in my shoes, and then I timed them and then had to write a report about it. And then once the report was done, you have to give between a 15 and 20 minute presentation about what you found, how you came across it, how you set up the experiment, how you found the kids. And it was an amazing experience. I loved it.
That developed an entrepreneurial spirit in Jason. He helped invent the prototype of what is now called SmartCap.
Basically, in a fork truck, they have these batteries that have water that need to be refilled in them. But the issue is with these batteries is that they're tucked away underneath the fork truck, and they're hard to get to. And people wouldn't know when the water levels in the batteries deplete. So my dad and I created a cap that goes on the top of each cell, and you screw it on, and it has like a rod that sticks down into the water. And it has a circuit board in the top of the cap that has wiring going down to the bottom. And when there's no water touching the bottom of the rod, then it sends a signal, a wireless signal, to a blinker that starts blinking. So basically these batteries are $5,000, and if you put on a cap, it could potentially save you $5,000, because if the water depletes, then your battery's completely ruined.
Tons of volunteer work, a 4-year scholar athlete. Jason has been accepted to Michigan, Michigan State, and Indiana University. He wants to play Big Ten soccer and lead the next wave of tomorrow's business leaders.
I want to do what my dad does, find a problem in the world and try to find a solution. I just want to be involved in a business. That's kind of always been my dream, and hopefully I'll go to college and learn and get better at starting and running a business, and then I can pursue my dream.
Savvy. Jason Kemp, Troy Athens High School. Okay, so we have Jason Kemp one more time before he heads off to his future, and a beautiful outdoor setting there. Jason, great to see you. And I want to ask you, it sounds like as much hard work as it has been, for instance, working on the project with your father and SmartCap and all the I'm sure failures and successes that took place in finally crafting that product, and all the research, all the work that went into your shoe study. I find, at least from just hearing you and seeing you, that it's something you really love doing. It's more than just work. It seems like you would love the process.
Yeah, like I mean, I loved my project, first of all, because you were able to research anything you wanted, and I was passionate about running shoes. So I decided to put in a lot of time to find the best shoes to use in my project, and then research with my friends, having them run, and then even with my dad's company, product research, finding something that's needed in the world, and then researching how different things can be put together to make a final product. It takes time, but at the end of the day, it's really worth it.
Well, one of the things that you have had is some time here over the last several months. So I got to ask you, what's your latest invention?
You know, we're still working on our smart cap, but we're just doing the little things around the house, you know, improvising and kind of inventing as we go. My dad has started to hang up these little solar panel lights in our trees, and it kind of looks like a starry night in our tree. It's just random things that no one would think of that just kind of adds a little to our house. So we've just kind of, since we're cooped up in our house, we've kind of just been playing along and still inventing.
Yeah, make it the best you can be. Obviously, you want to have, a great experience for these last few months, because you were the one nominee and finalist that we had who had not chosen a university at the time. And I know you had a few that you were kind of deciding on, but you have made a decision. Where will you be this fall?
I will be attending the University of Michigan to study economics.
Now, you were one of 3 goalies in the entire nation to be named All-American. So I'm sure that you had to, you probably had some scholarship offers and some real good opportunities. But why in the end the University of Michigan? Because as we discussed before, you're going to try and walk on to play soccer for the Wolverines, and I would assume that you would definitely make that squad. But what made you decide to follow this path?
You know, Michigan has always been like my hometown team. My mom went to Michigan and my uncle went to Michigan, and I've grown up as a Wolverines fan, and I love the Michigan area and the atmosphere, and Ann Arbor is just an incredible city. And when I went and visited, I knew that even though I didn't have an offer from Michigan, that really seemed like my home. It was a place that I enjoyed to be in, an atmosphere that was incredible. So I knew that at the end of the day, even though I wasn't offered a spot on the team at Michigan, that maybe going out, walking onto the team, I'd be able to make it. But I don't know, it just felt like home.
Well, that's fantastic, and we want you in a place that's going to foster your great imagination, because I think whatever you do on the athletic field is going to be wonderful, but I think maybe you've got bigger plans for the world. So we want to see what's the next thing that you come up with. Jason Kemp, thank you very much for taking some time here today, and really, really the best of luck in everything you do.
Thank you so much.
As we conclude tonight's program, it has become a tradition to recognize the unsung heroes. This collective is critical to any young athlete's success, for helping our athletes learn the value of teamwork, sacrifice, dedication, community, and family. For all that you have done to make them extraordinary people, for mom and dad, brothers and sisters, grandma and grandpa, aunts and uncles, coaches, teammates, teachers, and athletic directors, on behalf of young athletes everywhere, we applaud you. And we thank you. I want to personally thank the Yellow Flag production team and the DAC Foundation support team for another incredible program. We would like to recognize the sponsors once again of this show, of which none of this would have been possible. Our platinum sponsors: Morgan Stanley, WC Decombe Incorporated, James Group International, and the Detroit Athletic Club's 3Bs. Our gold sponsors: Meyer, Van Conway and Partners, and Sweet 618. And our student sponsor, William McCoy. Thank you for celebrating with us 12 student athletes who exemplify the spirit of the class of 2020. Until next year, I'm Lauren Plant. Good night.